Pick it up. Thank you. Hey, we left Doc in the sky. Let's go see what he's doing. All right, here we are. We're coming back to Taunton. We're going over the downtown area. We can, right in the center, we can see the new courthouse. Off to the left is Morton Hospital. We're swinging around. We're going to see if we can find my daughter's house where my granddaughters are going to be waiting for us to give us a big wave. Hey, there they are, the house with the square pool. We're going to see Cece and Ruby. Oh boy, they're too small to see from 1,000 feet up, but hey, there they are. Photo by Emily Farrer, and here we are, back aboard. Now, do you really want me to do that wing walking trick?
Yes!
Oh,
yes, we want you to do the wing walk.
Wing walk. Well, I would have worn my brown pants. And here's Bob Adams. He's going to see if he can capture some video. We're making our final approach. We're going to swing around and we're going to land back at the Taunton Municipal Airport. Hold on, here we come. Hey, you made it on the ground in one piece. What do you think of that?
Hey, that was one sweet flight.
Hey, and just for a shameless plug, did you like driving over your dental clinic?
Actually, I was going to go cut the grass, but from up there it looked pretty good.
Well, you got a big blade on the front there.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll confess, I don't even go on roller coasters. I'm actually a little afraid of heights.
Oh yeah.
That was fantastic.
Good. Glad you
It
enjoyed
was
it.
very comfortable.
All right, listen, I love these guys, okay? We're on the runway. We're on the runway. Bobby's in the back, Dick is in the front, behind the wheel, right? I got a couple of pedals on the floor there. He says, don't touch those. We see the lever. He says, don't touch that. There's a steering wheel. He says, don't touch that. I'm sitting here like this. Then he asks Bobby, he says, where's that instruction book? I got it in the back stuck there. Okay? Hey, oh, God bless America. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, we'll see you in the sky.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent segment, Pete. Had us laughing the whole time. I want to just remind us, we're with Dan Raposa, the manager of the Taunton Municipal Airport. I thank you for being on tonight.
My
but
pleasure.
we're going to take a moment to mention how to reach us at www.tauntonrcc.com, which is the Republican City Committee's website. You can pick up each of these shows, and you can also get in touch with some of the people we've talked to. There's also a website. It's through the Taunton City website, taunton-mass.gov or ma.gov. And that'll get you to a website that might help you get to the municipal airport, get some information, basic information about it. Because actually what we were going to talk about next is how much fun it is up there flying. And if somebody wanted to find out about flying.
Well, very, very true. Out at the airport, we have Atlantic Aviation Flight Center. They've been with us now for 4 or 5 years. They offer private pilot licenses all the way up through commercial as far as you might want to go with it. They're operating 7 days a week out at the airport, and they offer scenic tours. They offer a whole bunch of things. And basically, when you have a flight school that's working at your airport, they are the future pilots that will come out of there, that will end up probably being in this, using the airport because it's a local airport. Chances are they might purchase their airplanes and bring it onto the field. And
Can I ask you just a common sense question? If somebody wanted to learn how to fly, roughly, give or take, so they could get up as a solo, what do you think they could invest? 8, 10?
You probably in the ballpark, but I don't want to go out on a limb as far as that goes. By the hours, I think it's 40 or greater hours, and I'm not even sure of that anymore. I know that some of the older pilots are saying, well, we used to get our private license at 25, 30 hours. Now it's a little bit more. I'm not into it. I don't really want to comment on how long it would take a person. I do know that it depends on how studious they would be to it. In other words, if you start taking lessons and you took a bunch of lessons this summer and you'd get so far, but then maybe you kind of die off because you leave or go back to school, and then if you want to pick up again next July, you might end up starting closer to zero again because you didn't stay with it.
Keep up
but
with
if you
it.
stay with it and keep on going, you might come along and
I mean, if someone wanted to press the issue, they could probably condense it in a few months,
I would
5 to
think
6
so.
months.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
And someone has the wherewithal. I
Yeah.
know, one thing I noticed with Richard Rodia that was piloting our plane was that he seemed to be observant of everything that was going on.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
but comfortably.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been flying
Exactly.
for years.
Exactly.
I don't think you go up in a plane like that without being cognizant of
No, you
everything
have
that's
to-
happening.
The main thing you have to respect is your surroundings. You have to respect the weather. You can't have what they call get-there-itis. It's Sunday
Right.
morning and we're going to go flying because we scheduled it. You got to sit back and say, maybe not today, tomorrow.
And this isn't
tomorrow,
like
maybe
your
another
weekend
day.
trip in the motorboat, you know, where
Right.
you're just going to jump in the skiff and take off.
Right.
They're well aware of
Yeah.
the status of their plane.
Yeah.
The inspections are done, if I'm not mistaken, every year.
Right. Oh, the inspections of an annual, they call it an annual. Every aircraft.
And it's a very
has-
complicated, right?
Well, it depends on the manufacturer of the airplane, and they have to do certain things. In other words, a plane that has retractable gear has to have that retractable gear inspected, so that causes an added burden to the pilot. A plane that doesn't have that, obviously, you don't have to inspect something like that. But the manufacturer of the plane, whether it's Piper or Cessna or someone else, has certain things that they need to have inspected every year, and that's what keeps the pilot, the aircraft maintenance shops
Pretty busy.
Pretty busy, and throughout the year. We have 3 on the field.
Really?
We have 3, we used to have 4, one of them, the grand old dad of them all, Jack Cruz, he passed away a few years ago, but we now have 3. They're very viable, very competent aircraft maintenance facilities, and people use them. Not only do the people on the field, but they obviously have customers that fly in and use those maintenance
I
shops.
noticed the hangars we were looking into were spotless, well-maintained, tools on the wall.
Yeah.
And I think the plane I flew up in was late 70s.
Yeah.
So people are flying planes
Yeah.
from the 60s
Oh,
on
absolutely,
through.
absolutely. In fact, we have all ages of planes, but most of them you will probably see a lot of them are in the late 70s and in the 80s and stuff like that. And then when you get into the vintage type of planes, we have the tail draggers there. They could be in the 40s and World War II
Tail
trainers and
draggers.
stuff
You
like
mean just slower or
a
older?
tail dragger is most planes that you fly, like the planes you flew in, what they call tricycle gear. You have 1 wheel in the front and 2 wheels, and that's the way the plane was balanced. A tail dragger has the old-fashioned way, has two wheels in the front and has a little tiny wheel in the back, and the tail basically drags, and when it's on the ground,
Right.
and that's what they call a tail dragger, and they fly with a stick. It's old-time aviation. When the airfield was basically in its heyday back in the 30s and 40s, those were the kind of airplanes that were on at all times.
But it
until they
is
came up
nice
with
to
the
know
basic-
that the guys are flying in machinery that was developed in the 60s and the 70s and still flying
absolutely.
very
Oh,
comfortably.
absolutely, even older, yeah.
Right, and so if you did invest the time, if you did decide you wanted to fly, you don't have to make an enormous investment in an
Correct.
absolutely brand new plane.
You got to have it in. It's got to be in you. You can go about. You can rebuild a plane. You can do anything that you want to do, and with guidance and help. You just can't, and stuff like
Oh, right,
that.
right. You have to pass along.
Yeah. So you can do anything you really want. We have, but it gets into the, it becomes a hobby for most of these people.
And I think it would have to be.
Oh,
You're not going to
absolutely.
take it lightly.
Yeah.
And then if you compare it to boating, I know how costly it is to get into some of these 30, 35-foot boats and take a trip out to Block Island. Friends of mine are telling me $600, $700, $800
Yeah.
for the fuel to get in and out.
Yeah.
They would tell that the folks that took us up flying told us they had just jumped from that Taunton Municipal to Nashua
Yeah.
for lunch the day before.
Yeah, exactly, and they can go up there. It's about that one's less than an hour flight. Most of the flights that they take on weekends, these guys are less than an hour flight. One thing about flying in New England, we can fly all year round, whereas boating, you got to take that boat out of the water.
That's right.
And you can't. Some of the best flying is in the wintertime.
That's what
believe it or
Dick was
not,
saying.
because
Absolutely beautiful.
yeah.
Are we getting close to our close? What I want to announce, I want to make sure we get our next guest.
Yeah, hey, we got a shout out to one of our fans.
That's a good point. Let me bring that up. One of our fans actually contacted Pete, if I may, and he's talking about it's a Mr. Rick Wood, president of the Southeastern Mass Motorcyclist Survivors Fund, and he's asking people to join them at the 7th annual Brian's Ride to honor the memory of the late Brian Mello. And it's Sunday, August 4th. That's right around the corner at the Jockey Club, Route 44 in Raynham. All are welcome. Bikes not necessary. It's $20 per person, and the kickstands are up at noon. So that means the ride takes off, I guess, at that point. Live music. The funds go to help families of injured or killed motorcyclists and to promote motorcycle safety awareness. Now, you can reach them at SEMMSF.org. And why don't you I take it this is for us, Pete, to mention a like situation. We want you to like us on Facebook, folks. So reach out to us at The Right Side TV, The Right Side TV on Facebook. Let us know you're watching.
Hey, who's our next guest?
Our next guest is actually a Miss Sherry Philos, a good friend of mine. She is currently the president of the newly formed Bristol County, Norfolk County Women's Republican Club. Actually, she's been a big help to us recently. She'll be our guest to talk about that organization and spend a little time with us. Now, we have just a few seconds left to wrap, so I want to thank Dan for coming on tonight. I know a half hour is not nearly enough time.
No, I appreciate being here.
And I want to thank Pete for all the excellent camera work. It wasn't nearly as shaky up there as it seemed on some of the video. It was absolutely a smooth ride that day. But anybody has a chance, I encourage you, get out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you again, Dan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. That's Pete's next. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. You must be a parrot head.
All right.
Thank you.
See you on the right side.
Have a good night, folks. Thank you for watching The Right Side.
Thank you for tuning in to The Right Side. The Right Side is produced, directed, and written by the Taunton Republican City Committee. The opinions and views expressed are solely ours. They do not reflect the views and opinions of Taunton Cable Media Access. Now, if you wish to contact us with your reactions, thoughts, or ideas, go to the Taunton Republican Committee website. Click on The Right Side and fill out the comment form at the bottom of the page. That's all there is to it. And once again, thanks for tuning in to The Right Side.